And you're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Monday, May 20th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, 500 new rental minicars, speed cameras, and an improved system for paying fines, all part of the recommendations contained in the Transportation Green Paper tabled in the House of Assembly by Zane De Silva, the Minister of Tourism and Transport. However, speaking with Gary Moreno, Minister De Silva reiterated getting the bus situation right and developing a better performing taxi service remain key priorities.
Because I can tell you, I'm going to fix buses in the country one way or the other. I'm going to fix it.
A statement the minister is adamant he fully intends to back up, but readily admits it won't be easy.
When we started the Green Paper, there was talk about changing the schedule so that we wouldn't have all these cancellations. We tried that. Didn't work out. And now we're back at the drawing board. We're looking at how we can improve. We have to look at the options. We have to look at purchasing new buses. You'll know that we got 6. We have 6 more coming by the end of August. That's not going to fix it in a hurry. We put out an RFI a couple of months back. We've received them all. They're being looked at now, and we'll now begin to formulate the RFP. And once we get that done, we'll send it out and let's see what happens.
Whatever happens may only be a small part of a much-needed fix, given the number of buses required to effectively run the service.
Data would tell us that we need 104 buses. Well, if we only have 65, it ain't gonna work, is it? I don't care what we try. We're gonna struggle. So, until we can get the full complement of buses and the full complement of operators for the buses, we're gonna have a challenge. So, but my goal is to fix it.
The other cog in the wheel is, of course, the much-criticized taxi service. There are myriad complaints from visitors and residents alike about the inability to get a cab after hours or the lengthy delays in one arriving after calling for a taxi. Minister De Silva pointed to a possible solution specifically for the busy summer months.
You might be familiar with the legislation that the minister has the option to issue 88 temporary taxi permits. Well, it's certainly my suggestion is going to be for us as a government and us as a country to consider issuing 20 of those this summer. Now we still some things to work out. How much is the fee? Is there any restriction on hours? Are we going to have them working in certain parts of Bermuda?
According to the minister, there is a plethora of issues affecting the provision of a proper taxi service, and perhaps the time has come for a major revamp.
People are saying that, well, certain taxis are on the road for 7-8 hours a day. We know that there's a large amount of taxis that only do corporate work. And so we need to have a discussion about that. Well, if you guys are going to only do corporate work, well, then maybe let's have that conversation. Maybe if you're only going to do corporate work, you do it. And if it's 150, 200 taxis, well, let's take those out of the pool. And how many seniors do we have? Take those out of the pool. How many taxis are in probate because, someone's passed away and they've left it to the family and they can't sort it out? When you start pulling the numbers apart, you start saying to yourself, well, is that why we have a taxi issue in the country?
To that end, discussions are ongoing with all stakeholders. Talks are also being staged with minibus operators, with permission being granted recently to a number of operators for the introduction of vehicles capable of accommodating the differently abled, another sector of the community underserved by the current transportation system. With close to 17,000 visitors and upwards of 2,000 locals participating in the survey which informed the Green Paper, Minister De Silva says there are thousands of recommendations covering all aspects of transportation to be considered. Everything from driving habits and road conditions to shifting to emission-free vehicles and preparations for the advent of self-driving or autonomous vehicles on Bermuda's roads. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Gary. And Minister De Silva will be Gary's guest tonight on Let's Talk at 8 o'clock on TV9. Meanwhile, transportation has long been a bottleneck to tourism, and according to the National Tourism Plan, it's the main area that visitors complain about. Tony Waterman caught up with Kevin Dallas to get his thoughts on the Green Paper.
It's absolutely critical that we get a transportation system, an integrated transportation system, which includes taxi drivers, minibus drivers, but also buses, ferries, independent transport solutions for our visitors. It's absolutely critical that all of that work together to help visitors move seamlessly around the island. And that's important for them and their satisfaction, but it's also important for us because visitors can only spend money from end to end if they can get from end to end.
What you've seen in the Green Paper, does it alleviate some of your concerns around transport?
So the Green Paper is full of really important and useful data. It's also got lots of ideas in it. I think the challenge now will be to say which of those ideas are more actionable than others and what's going to be done in what priority in order to tackle some of the things that the Green Paper identifies.
What would you like to see done first?
I think the very first thing we need to do is get back to a point where we have a regular and reliable bus service. The second thing we clearly need to address is how visitors get around the island after dark and how they get from the ends of the island into the center and vice versa.
Coming up, construction improvements to Kings Wharf Pier, all the latest weather news and so much more. Stay with us.
Cal is back. He's been hearing about open internet and wonders if it applies to Bermuda. The short answer is yes. Open internet or net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers, referred to as ISPs, must provide access to all lawful websites and online data equally, regardless of whether you're posting pictures to Instagram, watching your favorite sports team, or even streaming movies from Netflix. Without open internet, ISPs could influence what you see and how quickly you see it by speeding up some services and slowing down or even blocking your access to legal content or apps. The regulatory authority is developing rules for open internet to protect consumers by making it clear to ISPs what they can and cannot do with internet traffic. And we'd like your input. Just visit rab.bm and submit your feedback by clicking on the public consultation for open internet link between May 20th and June 28th. Make sure your voice is heard.
What? You want a race? Rubber Duck Derby 2019. Raffle tickets now on sale. Bring the whole family. Presented to you by Friends of Hospice and Lindo's lead sponsor.
4K ready box, cloud DVR storage, more local channels on every device in your home. Get more with FiberWire TV.
Welcome back. Construction improvements to the existing Kings Wharf Pier and Dockyard mean the pier will last an estimated 75 years. The Public Works Minister David Birch made the claim during an update on the completion of Phase 1 of the enhancement work. The minister attributed the pier's planned long lifespan to the latest technology being utilized.
And when I first heard that, I think Bob would attest, I said, say that number again, because it didn't sound realistic. But I've learned from reading the information and having it confirmed that 75 years is what we expect out of this exercise. And that's as a result of not any criticism of anybody who built the last dock, but of the advances in technology and the fact that we've taken advantage of them. And we've learned from that exercise. What I will say for those people who think we can't manage money is that in 2014, this work was estimated to cost $20 million. In 2018-19, based on the advances in technology and the work that this team did before we even started building, the budget for this project is $15 million. So if you want to count numbers, right, starting off from jump, we've saved $5 million. Okay, and that includes not just the pier that you see, but if you look around at the picture of the new building that's going up, I think it's twice the size of the last building, and we'll have more features in it, and that is going apace. And so in July, you'll have a new building that's included in the cost of the $15 million to replace this entity. This is going to be our standard going forward. As long as I have this responsibility, we are determined to, first of all, budget accurately, make allowances for the unexpected, but as much as possible, stay within the budget that we've estimated, because otherwise it brings into question our ability to count. And in my book, the only people that in this country that have challenges with counting are those that go to the Berkeley Institute. That's been my experience.
Elsewhere, the minister confirming that government still intends to follow through with its throne speech pledge to turn the old Hamilton police station into an arbitration center bearing the name of union icon Ottawell Simmons.
There's not a bit of a tall order to fix it up. That's the first thing, because if that was the case, I would have knocked it down. And so what we have done is to have surveyors assess the building, and its integrity is in fact sound. What we have done so far is to gut the entire building. So all of the partitions and all of the units have come out of it. The next phase is to remove the cells, and that's a major project. I don't know if you've ever been in there, but there's about 8 cells that are cast iron, and so you need welders in order to be able to do that. That is the next phase. We have initial design drawings for the building, for the arbitration center, that will include the extension of the building over that sally port where there is the big gate now and going to the back of the other building. What that will do is to allow us to install an elevator. It doesn't have an elevator at the moment. And so rather than have to reconfigure the building as it exists, on the outside of that building we will install an elevator so that you have that ability, and we will extend the floor space.
Turning to weather news, as you can see from our tower cam, a little cloudy, but still a lovely evening. But we have rain and gusty winds headed our way for Tuesday. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the latest forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you this forecast. I'm AccuWeather's Erin Calandra, and we have an upper-level low, a storm high up in the atmosphere that is creating some pretty gusty winds here. Now this storm, it's inching to the north, heading straight toward Bermuda. It could develop into a subtropical storm, a depression, but it is running out of time. No matter what, when it reaches us tomorrow, we do expect to see some gustier conditions and also periods of rain. Not going to be a pretty day. Taking a look at what's going on a little bit closer, you can see that precipitation is slowly crawling in our direction. Right now, temperature is around 76 degrees. We have some sunshine, looking pretty good. Humidity at 75%. The winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 knots, and the waves inside the reef, nice. We are talking calm to 1 foot, outside 2 to 4 feet. Boy, is that going to increase as the storm approaches, and then even a cold front comes sweeping through. The low tide, 4:06 p.m. on Monday. The next one will be at 5:18 in the morning on Tuesday. Notice we do have a small craft warning in place Tuesday through Wednesday morning. That's not necessarily because of that storm, but instead because of a cold front that's going to be pushing that storm away from us. So for tonight, we are talking mostly cloudy with a couple of showers around. It's becoming breezy, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and windy. Gale force winds should be expected with showers at 79 degrees for the high. Here is the futurecast Monday at 8 p.m. And notice that storm, it is slowly creeping toward the island. Again, we're just going to see some showers, some gustier winds, nothing major, nothing that we haven't dealt with before. In Jamaica, chance of a storm popping up in the afternoon at 87 degrees. Trinidad, steamy at 93. Tropical development, not expected. We're not seeing any of that. It is too early in the season for that. Toronto, 65 degrees with some sunshine. Atlanta, steamy, way above average temperatures at 90 degrees with sunny conditions. The extended forecast, you can see we do have improvement. Wednesday, just a couple of leftover showers. By Thursday, it is going to be dry again. We'll see a few clouds with some sun. Temperatures kind of cooler. We go from 79 down to 73 degrees. We'll see showers returning on Saturday with a high of 76.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day, my son and I joined a speed sliding competition. And as I came down the water slide, I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool. And I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out, and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with a reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
And you are watching the Monday edition of Bermuda Tonight. The Bermuda Electric Light Company today unveiled its new battery energy storage system, or BESS, at the ribbon-cutting ceremony attended by Deputy Premier and Minister responsible for regulatory affairs, Walter Raban. Belco President Dennis Pimentel said, quote, this battery storage system is just part of the foundation we are building for a better energy future for Bermuda. Mr. Pimentel added, with the completion of this battery storage system, the company will save approximately $2 million per year. Within a few short years, this investment will be paid for, and our customers will benefit from reduced operating costs at our plant. The BESS has been built to provide reserve capacity in lieu of spinning reserve. Spinning reserve is the reserve capacity that must always be available to feed into the grid to help maintain Belco's power generating system stability during emergency operating conditions and unforeseen load swings. The BESS will store up to 10 megawatts of power that can be discharged for up to 30 minutes if there's a problem with generation. The BESS will automatically kick in within 50 milliseconds. This response is 3 times faster than a standard engine and will help to avoid the load shedding often associated with such events. With the BESS facility now operational, it is anticipated that there will be estimated savings of $2 million on fuel and maintenance costs annually. The batteries used in the BESS are lithium ion and have 20-year lifespan and can be recycled at the end of their useful life. Deputy Premier and Minister of Home Affairs Walter Raban said, quote, we are encouraged by Belco's BESS initiative that aligns with the ministry's goal to create a more energy efficient environment in Bermuda. We are hopeful for the continued strides being made towards cutting costs for consumers and promoting renewable energy on our island, end quote. Up next, Earl Bazin will have the weekend wrap up in sports in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
4K ready box, cloud DVR storage, more local channels on every device in your home. Get more with FiberWire TV.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
Now here's Earl Bazin with a look at the weekend that was in sports.
Madeline Moore concluded competing in the Pro Swim Series going on in Bloomington, USA. Moore reached 2 women's B finals and broke a Bermuda record during the meet.
On day 2, Moore took to the pool to compete in the women's 50-meter long course butterfly preliminaries, finishing 13th, touching the wall in a time of 27.81. Moore's time was a personal best while reaching the women's B final. Moore's time broke the Bermuda Open record time of 27.81. In the B final, Moore would lower the record yet again, this time touching the wall in a time of 27.68, which saw her finish 3rd. On the final day, Moore competed in the women's 50-meter long course freestyle preliminaries, where she advanced to the B final, finishing with the 14th fastest time of 26.25. In the women's B final, Moore finished 8th, touching the wall in a time of 26.44. Tough Dogs retained the Central County Cup trophy on Saturday at the St. John's Field following a 111-run victory over Western Stars. Evening League and Central County Cup holders Tough Dogs were sent to bat by Western Stars, and they would score 339 for 9 in their allotted 50 overs. Guest player Derek Brinkman shined with both bat and ball, was the top scorer with 125. He shared a 200-run fourth-wicket partnership with his Somerset Cricket Club Cup match captain Jordan De Silva, who was also a guest player. He added 104. Seth Campbell was the pick of the Western Stars bowlers with figures of 10 overs, 5 for 57. In reply, Western Stars were bowled out for 228. Campbell led them in the batting department with 57, while Brinkman led Tough Dogs' bowling attack with figures of 8 overs, 4 for 57. Turning to Premier and First Division action yesterday, Southampton Rangers picked up an 18-run victory over St. David's Cricket Club at Lords and St. David's. Malachi Jones was the top scorer for Southampton Rangers as they were bowled out for 126. Jones scored 53. Justin Pitcher was the pick of the St. David's Cricket Club bowlers with figures of 10 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 31. In reply, St. David's Cricket Club were bowled out for 108. Lionel Can was their top scorer with 33, while Jones returned figures of 9 overs, 1 maiden, 5 for 28. In other Premier Division action, Bailey's Bay picked up a 5-wicket victory over St. George's Cricket Club. Cleveland County won by 3 wickets over Flats Victoria. In First Division play, Western Stars picked up a 6-wicket victory over Somerset Bridge. Willocots won by 75 runs over Devonshire Recreation Club, and Somerset Cricket Club picked up a 6-wicket victory over Warwick Workmans. Meanwhile, Kamal Levrock turned out for Caythorpe Cricket Club in their Nottinghamshire Cricket Board Premier League match against Capelwick and Linby Cricket Club. Levrock and his teammates picked up a 121-run victory. They batted first and would score 214. Levrock was out without scoring. In reply, Papelwick and Linby were bowled out for 93. Levrock led the Caythorpe bowling attack with figures of 11 overs, 4 maidens, 6 for 16. Bermuda's round of the 2019 Caribbean Equestrian Association's Dressage Challenge was held at the National Equestrian Center on Visa Street on Saturday. The highlight of the day was Abby and Kayla Barjett finishing on top of their divisions. Abby Barjett secured the highest adult score for the day, riding Causing Chaos. They had a score of 71.724%, while Kayla, riding the same horse, secured the highest junior score for the day of 70.278%. Making up the adult team was Angela Haller and Smith and Phenomenal AV, Virginia McKee and Matinee, and Abby Barjett and Cruise Control. The Bermuda junior team is made up of Kayla Barjett and Causing Chaos, Maya DeSavilla and Just Pete, while Tyler James and Happy Feet round out the team. The Finn Open European Championships came to an end with Bermuda's Raquel Evans finishing 63rd overall with 471 net points. Evans' best finish of the regatta was 54th. He accomplished that twice in race 4 and race 9. Maxwell Curtis and his crew, Stephen Furbett, were crowned the 2019 Flagpole to Flagpole Comet Class champions. The annual Flagpole to Flagpole race begins in the Hamilton Harbor and ends in St. George's Harbor. Curtis and Furbett were able to hold off Dale Brinkman and his crew, Tahari Rogers, while Lorenzo Lambert and Stephen Mabry finished in 3rd. Bermuda's Futsal Federation's Men's Futsal League continued inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium on Saturday evening with a triple header that produced 37 goals on the night. Two Touch defeated 40 Kings 4-3. Athletico CP defeated Devonshire Colts 9-7, and ASFC 1 defeated 44s 8-6. Kayla Mean competed in the ITF Coral Gables Junior Tennis Tournament. Mean competed in the girls' qualifying round, where she would take on Madison Mills from the USA. Mean would go down in straight sets, but both sets needed a tiebreaker to decide a winner. Mills won the first set 7-6, but 10-6 on the tiebreaker. Mills would then win the second set 7-6, 10-5 in the tiebreaker. The Bermuda National Athletic Association held yet another track meet at the National Sports Center yesterday. Carifta Games medalist Sana Ray Morris did the under-17 girls double. Morris won the girls 200-meter dash, clocking a time of 25.89. She would then win the 400-meter dash, clocking a time of 59.30. John Dickinson clocked a time of 25.20 on his way to winning the under-17 boys 200-meter dash. Sear Carey was second in a time of 26.62, and Malachi Otterbridge finished third in a time of 27.36.
I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
It was a season of career, time of your life, where you make a commitment to, winning Bermuda's premier race. So I set out to do something, something that's going to be prominent. And that was to either, to set the record and to win it as much as possible. So it was intense, put yourself under a lot of pressure, I like the pressure that came from the community, I like the idea of the challenge that you always can be beat, because if you don't believe you can be beaten, then, you probably will be beat. So I enjoyed the, the stress of it, the pressure of pushing yourself. And then at the end of the day, when you come out victorious after putting all this, pinks on yourself, it's exciting, Just the point doing the coming out of the East now, it's something I had lobbied for, but they didn't at the time when I was in my prime, because I really did want to run out of the East, But I didn't want to do it, as some would say, for fun. I really wanted to be able to challenge the type of course, I like the layout of that with the hilly route, hills is probably my strongest point, so I really would have loved to come out of the Eastern experience, but otherwise than that.
I was deserving of based on the fact that I had put in a number of years, as we all know, and I finished second in the race 8 times, and I had some trials and tribulations within the race itself, but enjoyed a very successful career. I would say from a junior level right on through. It means everything because like I said, I competed through a junior level, Carifta level, was successful, went to high school in the States where, I was the state champion. I went through college, post-collegiate, I experienced a lot of success, on many, many levels. But however, in Bermuda, it's, as a distance runner, this is the marquee event. So, to be able to put my name amongst, some of the other former, winners, it is a great feeling. Distance running and particularly this race here, it's about preparation and it's about dedication. And, I know this generation, I don't want to sound old, but I know this generation is looking for the immediate success. And in this event, in this discipline, it requires a lot of dedication.
On a programming note, tonight's Let's Talk with Gary Moreno will tackle the issue of transportation. Guest Zane De Silva has tabled a green paper, and among the minister's recommendations are speed cameras and more mini cars for rent. Throughout tonight's show, viewers will be able to take part in real-time polling via the website menti.com. Polls open at 7:30. That's Let's Talk with Gary Moreno tonight, 8 p.m. here on ZBM TV 9. That's our newscast on this Monday evening. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Good night.